Karoline Leavitt appeared on the Hannity stage at Fox News. The spotlight illuminated the 27-year-old White House press secretary's deep blue suit, her heart pumping in anticipation of the high-stakes confrontation. Just minutes before, De Niro had walked out, labeling Trump a catastrophe and Leavitt his stooge. The quick but sharp attack sparked a frenzy in the audience, with cheers mixed with whistles. Leavitt, grasping the microphone hard and her eyes blazing, did not flinch in front of the millions of viewers. De Niro, with 2 Oscars and a Nobu empire, was convinced he could dominate this young MAGA lady. But, armed with her Catholic faith and steadfast commitment to Trump, Leavitt viewed this as an opportunity to prove him wrong about labeling her a puppet. She moved into the light, ready to transform the stage into her battlefield. This wasn't simply an argument. It was Leavitt's opportunity to turn the tables and seize the attention from De Niro. Before digging into the tale, leave a comment about where you're viewing from and remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on the newest news. The studio shone with brilliant lights, and the crowd fell silent as Robert De Niro took center stage, his black suit fitting his form, his eyes as hard and piercing as the Vito Corleone he once played. The camera panned slowly, and scattered cheers rose from the leftist corner as Sean Hannity introduced Robert De Niro, a Hollywood star who is never hesitant to speak his thoughts. He nodded slightly, took the microphone, and spent no time striking his first strike. "I'm here to say one thing," he started, his strong voice echoing. "Donald Trump is the greatest disaster America has ever witnessed. Karoline Leavitt, the Gen Z youngster, is his latest puppet. A spokesperson who understands nothing but reads the scripts that Trump sends her." The audience exploded, MAGA fans whistling in outrage, liberals cheering enthusiastically, and the studio air quickly heated up like a fire. De Niro moved forward, his left palm lifted like a professional stage actor, and his gaze swept the room. "Do you think I am kidding?" He grinned, his strong New York accent from Little Italy coming through. "I've seen folks like Trump scam men who are all show and little substance. I've portrayed gangsters in films, but Trump is the true gangster, whereas Leavitt is his juvenile slave. She's 27 years old, hasn't lived long enough to understand what's going on, and she dares to appear in front of the nation as a spokesman for a clown." Laughter erupted from the liberal side, with a few individuals holding up phones to record, knowing that this phrase would quickly spread online. He did not stop. De Niro went to the side and pointed directly into the camera, as if addressing Leavitt backstage. "She is the youngest press secretary in history, correct? Sounds good, but what has she done but cover for Trump? Check out the signal leak." She accidentally added a reporter to the discussion, revealing Trump's plans to the rest of the world. "I'm not sure if she's inept or purposeful, but if this is how she represents the American people, we're in serious trouble." The audience erupted with laughter, with someone yelling directly at Bobby. De Niro shrugged, a sneer twisting his lips, as if he'd landed a knockout punch with ease. Sean Hannity attempted to cut in. "Bob, she's about to confront you right now. What are your thoughts?" But De Niro intervened immediately, his voice harsher than ever. "Face it, I would enjoy that. I'd want to see her explain how she justifies becoming Trump's puppet. I've been calling this person a threat for years. I stepped outside his courthouse and told the mob directly that he is unable to govern. And now he's back, armed with a Generation Z youngster as his megaphone. It is shameful." He waved a dismissive hand, and the audience split, half cheering and half booing loudly. De Niro walked the stage, his voice becoming low, dripping with drama, like Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver. "You understand that I'm not simply chatting for fun. I've seen America through the decades. I grew up on actual streets, not artificial palaces like Trump. I produce movies. I constructed Nobu. I live authentically. Trump simply destroys. And Leavitt? She's the youthful face he uses to deceive others. Look, I am contemporary, but she isn't deceiving me. She has Catholic religion and prays every day, which is good. But if she is praying to cover for Trump, even God cannot help her." Laughter erupted again, louder this time, and a few others stood up to clap. He halted and turned backstage, where Leavitt was waiting. "Karoline, I know you heard me," he said, His tone was overflowing with challenge. You tweeted that you are not frightened of anyone and will protect Trump at all costs, so come out here. I want to hear the truth from you, without any modifications or scripts. But I'll tell you, I don't take it lightly. I've battled larger than you my entire life, from movie sets to politics, and I've never lost. He pointed directly at the wings, and the crowd erupted in cheers, the tension thick as a taut thread. De Niro sat down, casually tapping the table, a smug look on his face. She wants to be Trump's spokesperson. Okay, but don't expect me to be quiet as she walks out. I'm here to expose Trump, Leavitt, and the entire team. This is not a film. It is real, and I will show the country how she falls. He winked to Hannity, who laughed aloud. Karoline, do you hear that? He's ready. The audience applauded, phones hoisted high, and all eyes were on the wings, where Leavitt was about to appear. Karoline Leavitt stood behind the curtain, the stage lights throwing a soft glow on her face. De Niro's sentiments echoed. Gen Z puppet, dumb child. She didn't shiver, even if each one was a dagger. Her deep blue suit fitted her figure, blonde hair carefully pulled back, hands tensed, eyes blazing. This was Fox News territory where she had appeared on Fox and Friends, and she would not allow De Niro win. She turned to her helper with a stern voice. Where's the old De Niro clip? The aide held up an iPad. Here. He lauded Obama in 2016 and now opposes him. Leavitt smirked, which was excellent. Send it to production. I want it on screen when I go out. Karoline Leavitt appeared from backstage under full stage lighting, her high heels clicking loudly on the floor, and her small but resolute form highlighted by a deep blue suit. The commercial break music faded, and Sean Hannity got up, extending his hand to welcome Karoline Leavitt, White House press secretary, who was ready to meet Robert De Niro. The audience erupted, with MAGA fans cheering thunderously and leftists whistling in contempt. Leavitt nodded slightly to Hannity, darting her look over the room before focusing on De Niro. He sat there, arms crossed, sneer intact, as if expecting to see this 27-year-old fall by his previous attack. But Leavitt didn't come to lose. She came to destroy. She clutched the microphone and stood tall, her voice resonating across the studio. Mr. De Niro, I just heard what you said. Gen Z puppet, dumb child. You think you can stand there with your 2 Oscars and Goodfellas voice and disgrace me and President Trump in front of the whole country? You're mistaken. The room became silent for a time, taken aback by her assurance. De Niro arched an eyebrow, grinning, but Leavitt did not allow him to intervene. You call Trump a mobster and myself a juvenile lackey, but have you ever looked at yourself? A Hollywood superstar, living in luxury thanks to Nobu's generosity, appearing in disasters like the Alto Nights, and you dare to discuss failure? You've earned millions portraying strong dudes, but in real life, you're an out-of-touch antique who doesn't understand American culture. Applause erupted from the MAGA side, with a few standing to celebrate. Leavitt came closer to the table, her gaze fixed on De Niro. You mocked me because of the signal leak? Okay, I didn't moderate that talk, but what do you know about responsibility, Mr. De Niro? You stood outside Trump's courthouse, calling him a malignant narcissist without ever looking in the mirror. When she signaled production, the enormous screen lit up. On CNN, an old 2016 clip of De Niro beaming in a gray suit was shown. I admire how Obama handles things. He's knowledgeable and has vision. The tape froze, and Leavitt turned to him, his speech cut off. That's you applauding Obama, the man Trump defeated to offer the change millions of Americans want. So who is the hypocrite here? You despise Trump, but you supported what he corrected. I may be young, but I am not trying to be you. The audience exploded with clapping and whistles, rocking the studio. De Niro grasped his chair, cheeks flushed, evidently unprepared for the 27-year-old to respond with ammunition. He opened his lips to respond, but Leavitt interrupted him. I am not done, Mr. De Niro. You claim I am Trump's puppet? I am here because I believe in what we are doing, making America great again, from the economy to the border. And you? Who do you represent except Hollywood's elites? You live in mansions and establish Nobu restaurants, but I grew up in New Hampshire, in a middle-class household, and understand what Americans want. Who is truly out of touch? Karoline's cries prompted the MAGA audience to spring up. Karoline's voice echoed from every corner. Hannity laughed loudly and raised his hand as if to calm things down. But Leavitt was not finished. She moved closer, pointing directly at De Niro. You ridicule my faith, claiming I pray to cover for Trump. I pray for strength which you cannot comprehend because you just act strong on film. I don't need Oscars to prove myself. The American people support me. Applause erupted around the studio, with even several neutrals nodding, caught up in her enthusiasm. De Niro slumped back in his chair, his hands quivering, his arrogant smirk gone, replaced with a strange discomfort. She leaned forward, her voice low yet clear on the microphone. You want the uncensored truth? Here's the truth. Trump won because the people chose him, not you. I am 27, but I have worked for him since college, from the White House to the campaign. I'm not a puppet. I'm a voice for millions. And you? You're done, Mr. De Niro. The Alto Knights lost $40 million. What right do you have to talk about success or failure? De Niro shot up and pointed at her. You think you're brilliant, right? I've always battled larger than you. But his voice failed, lacking passion, and the audience began whistling in contempt. Leavitt grinned softly, his gaze never leaving his. Fight anybody you want, but today you lost. I'm not here for your enjoyment. I'm here to show the country how mistaken you are. She went to the crowd and raised a hand, indicating that they agree with me that Mr. De Niro should resign. The room erupted in applauding, cheering, and whistling, mixing into a triumph symphony. Hannity sprang up, clapping and laughing. Karoline, you've just claimed the stage. Leavitt sat across from De Niro, knees crossed and eyes unwavering. He looked back, hands grasping the chair, face flushed as if slapped. You're okay, he murmured, just loud enough for the microphone. But I'm not finished. Leavitt shrugged and responded. Neither am I, Mr. De Niro. Ask away if you dare. The tape of Leavitt playing the old film and saying, You're done, went viral quickly thanks to Fox News staff. Within seconds, the hashtag Leavitt fees De Niro skyrocketed on X, with spectators at home frantically spreading it. De Niro sat there, eyes deepening, plainly stunned by the counterpunch. Leavitt, with Fox News sharpness and Trump allegiance, had used his assault as a launch. This wasn't just a comeback. It was peak devastation, with the nation seeing a Gen Z star defeat a Hollywood classic live on broadcast. Robert De Niro sat opposite, palms clenched on the chair's arms, cheeks reddened as if his 81-year career had been slapped. His eyes clouded, and his arrogant smirk was replaced by a mix of wrath and perplexity. Leavitt had transformed him from a Hollywood legend to a joke. You're finished, you live in magnificent houses, and every phrase cuts to his pride. Sean Hannity, still standing between them, laughed loudly. Bob, have you got anything to say? She just lit up the studio. But De Niro did not laugh. He took a big breath and rose, pointing directly at Leavitt, his voice shaking but attempting to remain hard. Do you think you're so smart, kid? He hissed, his deep, Goodfellas tone now tinted with tension. You dare to stand in front of me and lecture me with outdated clips? Who are you to say I am finished? The crowd became silent for a time, expecting a fierce retort, but his statements lacked their customary impact. Leavitt sat there, knees crossed, eyes unwavering. I was correct. You are Trump's puppet. De Niro pressed on, his hand outstretched as if on a Broadway stage. You're 27 years old, haven't lived long enough to know what's what, and you dare to appear on Fox News to teach me the truth? I've seen folks like Trump, he's a threat, and you're simply his megaphone. Mocking whistles erupted from the MAGA side, with a few saying, Sit down, Bob. De Niro turned toward them, eyes flashing. Do you want me to be quiet? I refuse to shut up. I'm looking for the truth. Trump is unfit and so is she. But his voice trembled, unconvincing, and laughter erupted. Hannity intervened, raising his hand to lessen the tension. Bob, chill it, she brought receipts. How do you respond to that clip? De Niro turned back, pointing at the now dark screen. An old clip. So what? I can change my mind. I'm not a puppet like her, following Trump's script verbatim. But his answer simply sparked further laughter, with someone saying, "Bobby, you're done." Leavitt leaned forward and smiled slightly. "You want to discuss scripts? I don't need someone to write my thoughts. But how about you, Mr. De Niro? You've spent your entire life following scripts, from The Godfather to The Irishman. I am here because I believe what I say." The audience cheered again, louder this time, and De Niro clutched the microphone firmly, his face flushed as if about to explode. "Don't become cocky with me," he yelled, his hands shaking. "I started my profession from scratch in Little Italy. Not because of Trump or Fox News. I've got Nobu and Flicks. What do you have but a tongue reading his orders?" However, the MAGA audience's enthusiasm drowned him out, and another wave of laughing broke out as someone cried, "The Alto Knights lost 40 million, Bob." Hannity sat back, laughing loudly. "Karoline, you have him fired up now." De Niro turned to Hannity, his voice sharp. "She's not firing me up. She's just an arrogant kid, and I've been fighting Trump since she was in diapers. I stood outside his courthouse and talked directly to the public, while she simply prays and covers up." But his remarks lacked weight, and Leavitt responded calmly, "I pray for strength, Mr. De Niro. What do you pray for when the Alto Knights flop so hard?" Laughter erupted around the studio, and De Niro walked back, dropping the microphone on the table, his expression blank. The commercial break came, but the drama did not end. As the concert continued, De Niro remained seated, attempting to regain his calm. "I'm not finished," he mumbled, looking at Leavitt. "You want to play this game? I will show the country who you are, a foolish opportunist." But his voice trembled, and the audience stopped cheering for him. Hannity shrugged. "Bob, she earned points. What do you have to do to turn this around?" De Niro paused and calmly stated, "I don't need to turn it around. I'm Robert De Niro and she's nothing." Following the show, De Niro exited the studio with a grim face, his staff trailing behind. He got into the car, opened his phone, and sent a tweet from his official account. "Karoline Leavitt is arrogant, but Trump remains the greatest threat. I did not lose today." The tweet was posted, but the first response was from a MAGA account. "You lost, Bob, go retire." He flung the phone down the bench, his hands trembling, evidently unwilling to accept defeat. The next day he appeared on CNN, attempting to strike back. "She thinks she is brilliant, but I have seen it all. I've been fighting Trump for years, and she's simply his shadow." As the Hannity stage lights faded, clapping and whistles reverberated around the Fox News studio. Karoline Leavitt and Robert De Niro's fight left the theater buzzing. Leavitt sat there, knees crossed, gaze unwavering, a slight smile flashing like a gladiator celebrating a victory. De Niro's face heated, hands slack on the chair, eyes clouded, indicating that he had lost control of the story. Sean Hannity stood between them, lifting his hand and laughing. "What have you just witnessed?" Karoline Leavitt made this stage her own. The audience exploded one more time, with MAGA fans whooping and yelling, "Karoline! Karoline," as liberals muttered among themselves, some shaking their heads, unable to believe the 81-year-old great had been brought down by a 27-year-old. However, the drama did not finish at the studio. Minutes thereafter, social media erupted like a bomb, and the country began taking sides. As the event ended, Fox News production staff quickly put the highlight clip to X, which had Leavitt showing De Niro's old Obama-praising video, followed by her razor-sharp comment, "You're done, Mr. De Niro." Within 30 seconds, the hashtag Leavitt frees De Niro skyrocketed to the top trending topic, garnering tens of thousands of tweets.